Hey gang, Andy Whaley here with the MLC, and I'm here with one of our fantastically gifted and talented social media interns, Mr. Bobby Krumme. Bobby, how you doing today?
I'm great, Andy. How are you?
I'm great. You know, I was really excited last week when you took the time to interview me, and so I wanted to actually turn the tables and meet with you this week and interview you and just get a couple of thoughts on what you think about the MLC and your role with it recently. But just to get going, share with people a couple of things about Bobby Krumme. Who are you? Where are you at in your life, and what's going on with you right now?
Thank you. I just moved to Boston this last summer. I'm currently enrolled in the University of Miami Herbert Business School. My passions are academics, marketing, and lacrosse. I'm a huge sports fan in general. Basketball and lacrosse are my main two to go. My freshman year of college, I went to Dennis University, which is Division III liberal arts school in Ohio. Unfortunately, I didn't really find a niche there. I kind of, didn't feel at home. So I transferred my sophomore year during the pandemic to University of Miami. It's been smooth sailing since. I love the school. I love the environment, love the people there. So that's where I kind of am in my life right now. I'm entering my junior year this upcoming fall. And I couldn't be happier.
And like most of us know, college itself is a journey, and we talk oftentimes about the hero's journey on the MLC. And you're obviously in that stage where you're going through that journey. You've shifted schools. Now you're finding your way through at Miami, and you're really enjoying it, right?
Yep. Awesome time.
Yeah. So excellent. So in your junior year, one of the things that you were looking for was an internship where you could get some experience, and especially in social media and marketing. Is that correct?
100%.
Yeah, so we put out a feeler on LinkedIn from the MLC looking for interns, and you were one of the highly, talented, gifted ones that we were able to get a hold of, and it's really been awesome to have you with us. But could you share just a couple of things about your specific role as a social media intern with the MLC and what you do and kind of what you're over?
Got it. Yeah. So for the MLC, my job is making sure that they get out on all social media platforms. Currently, I'm running TikTok and YouTube accounts. My main goal is to post informational yet inviting information and posts to make people who are on the fence or looking for the values we offer, Christ-centered discipleship, entrepreneur leadership skills, someone and place for people to, share their stories and feel at home and get a supportive community behind them. So my job is making sure that that content reaches those people and making sure the MLC is a prominent figure on social media.
Awesome, and especially those two channels, like you said, TikTok and YouTube. And what are some of the things that you're trying to do with YouTube and its environment, and then how you're breaking that down with TikTok? Can you share that with the gang?
Yeah, so YouTube and TikTok kind of work hand in hand. YouTube obviously is a better platform to post longer videos and more informational videos. TikTok is kind of a place where the algorithm is so strong as well. So you can post these smaller snippets of larger videos that will go on YouTube, so people can see and get a glance of what is going on, the content we're posting, interviews, who's behind the MLC, what we're trying to do, and then they can go to YouTube and visit that. So TikTok and YouTube go hand in hand. TikTok is a great place where we're going to find a lot of people, hopefully new brothers in the future. As you know, the algorithm is very strong. So people who are looking and searching on any hashtag of faith or anything that we offer, they will find our videos. So that's my job. I'm trying to make sure the videos are short, concise, clear, and that they also go hand in hand with bringing people to the YouTube channel as well.
Nice. So two really highly video involved channels that you're working on for us. And one of the other roles you didn't really know about, it just kind of happened. But as you furthered your way in the internship and growing in it, we decided to do some of these interviews, and you found out that you're going to be one of our main, you're going to be our interviewer and interview quite a few people in the MLC, especially men that have come to it, have shared their story. You're going to have the opportunity to be the one who serves as the interviewer for the MLC for a while. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I couldn't be happier. It's a skill of mine that I've always wanted to, tap into, progress, and practice on. In high school, I took a speech class so I feel like I'm ready for the challenge.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it. So for all you guys out there and everybody that's checking out both our YouTube and our TikTok channels, be on the lookout for Bobby giving more interviews and posting those on both YouTube and TikTok. So I'm really excited about that. Let me ask you a couple of more questions real quick on this interview today, because you're on the other side of the camera, right? You're the one getting interviewed, so it's kind of fun. So you've been with us now for a couple of months over the summer. What are some of your initial thoughts about the MLC, our core values, or what are some of the things that you've learned that you're really excited about actually being an intern working with the MLC?
Well, this is my first experience as an intern. So I've learned working as a team. I've learned valuable skills such as being reliable, showing up early, making sure that you contact everything you're doing, keeping people in the loop. Obviously, Andy and Dave are great people to work for. I've had a blast. They've been very educational and informational, and led us and my fellow interns down a great path to success, and also learn the core values of what it takes to be successful. So I've gotten a lot of rich and great qualities out of this internship so far, and I look forward to the future.
Nice, awesome. And you have three other guys that are working on the social media intern team with you, that they're each responsible for two other social channels also. And the way that you guys network and with one another and are creating a platform across 8 different channels is pretty exciting, isn't it?
It's awesome.
Yeah, so excellent. Well, in our last interview, I shared how you asked me, how did the MLC get started during COVID? And I shared my story about my wife, Jen, asking me if I was doing okay. But you also shared in that interview, and I want to make sure more people get to see it. You shared a little bit about your feelings and what was going on with you emotionally, and kind of the isolation, the loneliness that you felt, the separation from friends. So I was going to ask you, the MLC being a place that started out of COVID and really trying to create a place for men to come together and gather with one another to have community. Could you just share with everybody again, real quick, your story during COVID and how you felt?
Yeah, so I first heard about COVID when I was at Dennis University my freshman year, early early March. Me and my buddies kind of joked about it. We didn't really think much of it. We called it the China virus laughingly. We didn't really think anything serious about it. And then to find out 2 weeks after hearing it that we're being sent home and the world's pretty much going on a national lockdown, I was so confused. I had so many questions. And then to immediately be placed at home after, a great semester, have a bunch of friends at college, and just like that, it can all end and you're back home in square one, and you can't even see your hometown friends. So I felt, it was one of my low points that I've ever experienced. I was very, confused, and I had a lot of anger towards the fact that I didn't know what was going on, and I couldn't go outside and do anything that I was normally doing. And I'm very,
Because you're a pretty active guy, right? You
yeah,
love
I'm a
being
very social
outside.
person. I'm not someone that, will coop themselves inside or say no to any invites to see friends or do anything social. So when my parents especially wouldn't, give me a pass or two to go see a couple friends that their parents would allow me to go see, I got more frustrated, and I was kind of just, like done with it. And that was tough for me, but I learned a lot during that. I learned a lot about myself. I learned about how to handle my actions, how to, mature and understand that, you can't always control the circumstances you're in, but you can control how you react. So I learned, the fact of just pushing through and, trying to better myself during that time while I was at home. And as you know, I transferred. So a lot of that time I put into putting in applications, applying to other schools, researching other schools, and trying to give myself a better future during the pandemic when I couldn't do anything that I, wanted to see anybody. So
Yeah.
it was a tough situation for me, but I think that I learned a lot. And honestly, I'm a little grateful for the situation, because if the pandemic never happened, I would not be at the University of Miami today. So
Yeah. And probably wouldn't have found the MLC because we probably wouldn't exist. So
yeah,
yeah, for
yeah,
sure. But two things I think we all learned, especially as men, is we learned that depression is real and we can all run into it, even though we're not depressive personalities. Both of you and I are both very social people. We're outgoing, we're high energy guys, right?
yep,
So depression is not something that, we've dealt with a lot in our lives, but I think we shared on that last call that we both had moments of people recognizing that we were down in a way that they'd never seen us down before,
mhm,
and really experiencing how to work through that. But then also the importance of community and what it really means to be a part of a community and how we work through those things with others, and having a safe place where we can share things like that with one another. And instead of judging each other, we can inspire, equip, encourage, and empower each other in the midst of even a pandemic, right?
yep.
Yeah, very cool. Well, thanks for sharing that. So just, I think everybody will be seeing that's checking these videos out that you and I are coming from some different generations, age-wise, right? I'm a
Mhm.
little bit on the older end, and obviously a junior in college. You're at what, 20 years old right now, Bobby?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 51, 51 and a 20-year-old, but brothers. Already we have so much in common. So I just wanted you to touch on what you think about mentoring and especially intentional diversity within communities, not only racially or culturally or ethnically, but generationally, the importance of having men in your life that have gone before you that are a little older to be able to share with you and how that might build into you to be prepared when you have some men coming behind you in a younger generation, that you'll already be prepared and thinking about, wow, I'm really supposed to be building into these young men's lives. How does that affect you when you hear that? And other people, kind of guys in your age range, what do they think about mentoring in that way?
Yeah, so me personally, I really appreciate having older relationships with, like, obviously influential older men in my life, or my grandfather and my dad. They give me so much wisdom and insight that I never take for granted. And normally my parents always say that they're right, and a lot of times I've done something against them and they always end up right somehow, some way. So personally, mentoring is something that I like to tap into, cherish, and kind of listen to, and make sure that I practice what they preach, because obviously they've seen a lot and they know a lot. And me, as someone who's just becoming an adult, and I'm about to be on my own in the next couple of years, and I'm kind of starting my young life. Those qualities and those lessons are something that I'm going to need to use and cherish, and remember. And as far as my peers, I'm sure my peers feel the same exact way. Especially when you come to people that are in my business school, everyone is always asking teachers and older professors any tips they have on how to, create a business, how to get an internship, how they can make the most money, what field is best for them, and all just little, little lessons and little hacks about business and how to become a good businessman. So it's very, very, very helpful, and it's something that I think everyone that I know, and me personally, cherishes.
And when you think of, just to wrap this up for today, this has been awesome. Thank you for sharing with us. But just your overarching thoughts on our three areas that we touch on: Christ-centered discipleship. So we're talking about having somewhere that our information is coming from that's biblically grounded on what it means to be a leader and a man, entrepreneurial leadership, and then authentic manhood in the 21st century. When you hear those three things put together as a 20-year-old about to make your way out into the business world, what do you think about those three areas of conversation that we're constantly touching on with the MLC?
I think they're very important. I honestly don't know, all of those sections, and I have questions about all those sections, especially Christ-centered discipleship. I'm religious, but I'm not overly religious. So something that I love seeing is the daily emails that give you words of encouragement if you're ever feeling down, or just a little boost to brighten your day in the morning. And especially with entrepreneurial leadership, being an entrepreneur is something that increasingly is something that is on everyone's mind, especially with the rise of technology. Who wouldn't want to be their own boss? So I feel like those three characteristics are very important, and something that I love to be a part of, because it's only helping me in my future.
Nice. And with the pandemic, obviously entrepreneurial leadership rose because everybody, do you remember the famous word? Everybody had to learn how to pivot,
Yeah.
right? So everybody had to learn how to pivot, even in something they may have been doing for years and years and years. Just like I shared with you about ministry, we had to pivot and figure out how to do it online.
Yeah.
But out of that, entrepreneurially grew the MLC, and learning how to be able to connect with men online, grow that back into live in-person meetings that we're beginning to start once again in the fall, and expand and scale and be able to touch more men's lives. But all of this started from learning how to pivot, which is a very entrepreneurial, you got to be light on your feet and able to move. And those are some of the skills that we're trying to help men really learn, that come from a biblical perspective, but the way that they can utilize them to pivot and be light on their feet and very entrepreneurial in their everyday life and all their spheres of influence.
100%.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Bobby. We're so excited to have you on our social media intern team. And I'm even more excited to hand off to you now the role of interviewing all the great men at the MLC that you'll be doing, posting those on YouTube and of course on TikTok. And we're so excited to see what you're doing for the MLC as you're touching more men's lives. So thank you so much, Bobby. We appreciate it, buddy.
Of course, Andy. Anytime. I couldn't be more happy. I look forward towards the future. Should be
Awesome.
fun.
All right. God bless everybody. Have a
God
great
bless.
week in
Take care.
Jesus. Bye, guys.